All right, greetings, gamers. Hey, it's us, the Game Guildies, all of us, back from BGG Spring. Longer because we took the holiday off. Um, and
Well, BGG Spring was part of the holiday.
yeah.
It
But like,
was.
yeah. So we're not just back. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No.
Even though some of us left Monday, others of us left Tuesday.
Yeah.
Some of us even left Sunday.
Yeah. I left Monday morning.
Exactly.
So we're just gonna kind of unpack the con from the perspective of the guildies, and also if you haven't already seen, but Steph and Michael yesterday at least I saw your video yesterday. You posted it yesterday, I think. You streamed it.
We talked it. Yeah, we streamed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Steph and Michael's recap video is up and out there. And of course, drop the link in the chat. And if
Boom,
this
there
is
it is.
when this gets put on the Game Guildies YouTube, the link will be in that description. Yes. Well, it was a con, and for the most part, came back fairly healthy. I got sick like 2 days after getting home. Oh, did you get sick, Michael?
I got sick about 4 or 5 days after getting home.
Because
I was sick when I got.
So what was it? No, it was it was Sunday, wasn't it, Steph? Saturday or Sunday? No, it was already here by the time we had game day. So it must have been
like
Friday. Yeah.
So
it started coming on Friday, and it's mostly gone from the sinuses, and so it's like
I've just got like the leftover junk that I keep coughing, so I'll probably keep coughing off mic here.
Yeah, I may peek off to cough or blow my nose because it just seems like it keeps coming.
So we all got the con crud, except Steph.
I was convinced that I got mine in the airport, but yeah.
So you brought it to us.
No. Like I think I got it in the airport on the way home.
Oh.
Because I felt fine the entire time I was at show. So.
Oh yeah, so did I. But then you pick it up the last day of the con or last couple of days, and it takes a minute to.
Yeah, I had just one day of like super achy in the shoulders from coughing so hard, and just junk. And
so mine, I wasn't exactly sure because it could have been allergies for all I knew.
Yeah, it's also that time of year in Colorado as well. I don't really have like pollen allergies, but I know that as you get older, things like that can change. So, but we're all here. Nobody's too sick to be here. So,
no.
Well, we had game day on Saturday, and we warned playtester James and Susan. We warned them. We're like, I might have something. You have been warned, and they're like, does he sound okay? And we're like, yeah, because I sound fine now, but I still have it.
Yeah, a little stuffy, but yeah, you don't.
A little, exactly.
I canceled my Wednesday stream because I didn't have a voice, So
we canceled our Wednesday stream because Steph didn't have an awake time.
Oh,
2 days.
Nice.
You cut out a little bit, Steph.
For a couple days.
Wow, you cut out your first part of your words cut out every time. Put it nearer, put it farther, something. Oh yeah, it's really bad if that's your headset.
Yeah. Oh no.
I just won't talk.
Oh no, that's good now.
That's good now.
It just cuts off like your first word.
Yeah.
Sometimes your first 4 words.
Yeah.
But yeah, and now playtester James has it, so he told me he's gonna haunt me.
Yeah, I feel fine. I sound worse than I feel because this happens to me every time I get a cold, is I just have, especially when it's in my chest, I just have like the leftover junk that I keep coughing. So, that's, yeah. But anyway.
I shared with both Malachi and John. Malachi got it within a couple of days.
Oh.
And then John, started feeling sick on Friday. so
Yeah.
he's not feeling great. So yeah, my whole household. Just,
Well, then
like,
Tiffany was
sorry.
spared because
It was
Tiffany didn't
not
game
good.
at the con at all. Didn't come down and game in the hall hardly at all. So, so if I did get at the con, that's probably why. Because like her and the boys have been fine, you know. So yeah.
I'm
but-
shocked Steph doesn't have it.
Don't get me sick.
It's never fun to be
It's the
sick.
story of my life.
I also remember. So like, do you remember? So there's this commercial like in the '90s for like I can't remember. It was for the diarrhea medicine, and it was like diarrhea always strikes at the worst time. And I was like, is there a good time to have diarrhea? Like I've never been like, you know what? If I got diarrhea, now's the time. I could
There
go
are
for some
better
diarrhea.
places.
You know.
To be fair, there are some better places.
Yeah.
That is true.
But I was just like, I don't know. I don't think that's ever a good time to have happen to your body, you know? But anyway, enough about that. And, you know, ever having the chance, you know, within the first 5 minutes to talk about diarrhea, I'm sure we're going to keep our monetization status. Oh, hey, look who's here. This was, for me, personally, my favorite con in a while. Like, this was the most thrilling and exciting con because so many people that I knew were there. Because BGG Spring typically ends up being the one that a lot of people step away from because it's over the holiday weekend. It's just like usually I see more people at fall than I do at spring. So it's like I can count on seeing Steph and Michael. And, you know, there's been a couple BGG Springs where it's just like, I'm kind of here on my own, you know, just hanging out with the work folk, you know. I'm not really hanging out with friends. So
that's sort of weird because the holiday weekend is when you've got extra time off, right?
Yeah, but there's usually family plans.
yeah, unless,
or
yeah. Like, for example.
No. This is family.
Well, I don't want to derail too much, but anyway, I was super happy because we had our meetup on the Thursday night, our unofficial official Game Guildies meetup, which Steph has already pointed out. We should have gotten a picture with everybody. I'm so bad at
that was
remembering
big.
those things.
It was a big fail.
Yeah.
I would
We did get a Guildies pick.
Yeah,
We
so
did not
we
get
got pics with us and
chat Guildies pick.
but because that was the one that like everybody that knew us was there. We had, you know, Panda Angel was there and Jeffra and Jelfia, and
Dr. Sign.
Dr. Sign was there. And so it was just like that was the time. That was the moment. And we didn't do it. Yeah.
That was a fail.
Also, time to report all of our stock of Guildy socks have been distributed. So,
Yay!
yeah,
We've rocked everyone's socks away.
yeah. Dot just gave me the last the last 3 pairs that we were holding because we of course we wanted to make sure Dr. Sign got a pair. And I gave a pair to Panda Angel, and Candace, and Jeffra. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
All deserving candidates.
Yes, Jelfia was rocking hers at the con. I saw. Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yep. I even have a picture of me and Jelfia wearing our socks at the same day.
And I don't know why I didn't think to pack one. It's because mine's always sitting at the desk, so that when we want to show them off, I've got them right here. So I didn't think to pack them. I don't know why. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Anyway, had a great time. I don't know. Should we just start going through the days? I mean,
A lot of things happening over all the days. I was sad that you had to leave early, Duchess, but I understand.
Yeah, I mean, I had a really nice visit with my friends, Zayd's parents. I had a really nice visit with them in the afternoon, and then they took me to the airport because I flew out of Love Field, which was convenient because Southwest bags is nice, and my suitcases were full. Going home could have been a little fuller, but you know. Um, But so it was nice, but I'm kind of glad I got home cuz I was not feeling great. Monday I pretty much spent on the couch trying to recover and hopefully not getting sick, and that was kind of like the beginning of the end. It just got worse.
Oh, no.
I think for me, like I was taking some antibiotics, which I should not have been taking antibiotics because that definitely does not do good things for your immune system, and I think that's probably what did me in. Because usually I don't come home from conventions sick because I usually take a lot of extra like vitamin C and all the rest of that kind of stuff. But anyways, but it was a
Well,
very good convention for me too. I really had a lot of fun. I got to play nowhere near the amount of games that Steph did, of course, because I actually slept. I probably slept more in one night than she did the entire convention. But
Confirmed.
yeah, yeah, for sure. But I did. It was a lot of fun. I really had a good time with everybody, new friends, meeting all of the crew here was just great. Actually getting to play games with you, Steph, Michael, Derek. How many times have we seen each other at conventions? I mean, I've seen you guys many times at conventions and never played even so much as a quick card game at all.
Yeah.
So it was nice to get to play some games with you guys and hang out, and yeah,
I
it was
have
good
a
stuff.
theory about that, Duchess, actually. I think I know the key to getting more games in together at this con. Because I was thinking about that. It was like, because you've been to fall before, and it's like, why? How does this happen? And I think the key is we all arrived with like, well, I mean, Steph and Michael were already in town on Tuesday, but like we all arrived the same day. I think in the past, it's like we're never arriving at the same time. So like one of us, whoever shows up late, is like greeting the other that's already playing a game and booked solid to play games. And then when they finish that game, you're in a game with somebody else. And then it never happens. But the fact that we both got in
We
on
never booked
Wednesday,
solid.
and it's like let's play something. And then it's like we're just always like, hey, we're playing games together. We both finished a game. Let's go play another one together. And I think that's the key. Is it's like we both got in on the same day.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps, but I also felt like BGG Spring, I know, Steph, you were very busy. You had a lot on your plate, as you do at every convention. But I think that spring, you are still less busy spring than you are fall. Because I think at
It's
fall, you have a lot of other things, like a lot of other business to take care of. And
I
yes,
got to turn through all the new things is what I got to do.
right, right.
actually it's a little
the
busier at spring because of the storage sale. So, and we don't have that in the fall.
Well, I didn't feel like
We
you
play
were
more
from my
games.
perspective, it didn't seem like you were as busy at spring. I knew you had a lot. I knew you had commitments. I knew you had stuff to do. But from my perspective, it didn't seem like you were as committed to things in spring as you were in fall.
Well, the thing is, you have a friend. So
Yeah.
it felt like we were busy, but we were less busy. But I am glad that you did decide to come, because I know like you were on the fence about even coming to BGG Spring. So I'm really happy you did get to come. So
Yeah.
The good
Yes,
thing
I
is that Steph and I do not schedule games for the most part. We have things that we have to get to, like the virtual flea market and the bazaar and the storage sale. And this year, the poker tournament, but we don't really schedule. Oh, hey, we've got a huge, Terraforming Mars game at 9:00. We don't schedule games.
That is one thing.
sometimes you do schedule Battlestar.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes
I
you
was like,
do.
I know sometimes you do that. Like Jelfie just mentioned in chat that did get the Battlestar game with me, and that is the one thing. It's like I suppose I keep meaning to let you teach me that game, and I don't know. It's just it's hard to make happen because I'm not super excited to play it. Not that I don't want to play it. It's
What?
just kind of like sometimes it's like when we end up what we end up doing instead is like, at least for me, ends up being like, oh, this was worth it. I still will. It will happen someday. Someday.
It is interesting, and it's not a bunch of finger pointing, saying you're the Cylon, like
Yeah.
a lot of people think it is. It's
Yeah.
not that at all. It's not that at all.
So speaking of finger pointing, Derek, you need to watch The Traitors if you haven't watched it yet.
And
I
if you
need
love
to.
the
I need
Traitors,
to. I don't have. It's on Paramount, right? Or Peacock?
Peacock.
Peacock. Yeah, I don't have Peacock right now. So that's.
Well, they were offering it. I mean, I know it's one more subscription service
Yeah.
and one more cost and everything like that, but they were running a deal actually on Twitch for $26 for the entire year. That was the only reason I grabbed it, because $26 for the whole year, I could swing that. So, and I actually got it because I was planning to watch Eurovision on there. And then the bonus was, I'm like, oh, well, now I can watch The Traitors. And Steph, we had this discussion yesterday. So I watched Traitors season 1. It is basically a reality TV show version of like Werewolf. Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's very well done. The US is mostly reality TV celebrities, Survivor people and things like that. But I have now watched 2 seasons of the UK version. We watched all of Australia season 1 yesterday.
Oh wow.
Now my husband turned on New Zealand season 1.
Wow.
I'm like, I begged my husband to watch the first season of The Traitors, the US version, and he was like, "No, I ain't watching that stupid stuff." He's on the New Zealand episode now. He's on the New Zealand season now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I mean, but it really is. As a board gamer who's played Blood on the Clock Tower, Werewolf, social deduction games, it's a lot of fun. The Australia is definitely very different from the UK and the US. UK and US are very similar in obviously characters.
That's why
dramatically
we
different.
stopped watching UK.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very same.
Everything is the scripted parts happen similarly. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, oh, there's no twists for
But
me.
the
And
people in the UK version are the cast for the UK version is very like emotional, extremely emotional compared to the US version.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I love Alan Cumming though.
I
like
do
so
too.
him not in it for the UK is like,
Yeah. I mean the US one is really good, but the Australia, wow, that was there was some very interesting characters in that one. So far the New Zealand one, I haven't seen figured it. I've only watched the first episode or whatever, but the New Zealand cast is quite interesting and
Nice.
very different from Australia, ironically enough. They're playing it very different. So I don't know. Anyways, if you really
Yeah.
like social deduction games, there's a World of Traitors TV show out there, which I looked up, and it was created by this Dutch guy.
Hmm.
And I'm like, Dave Luza needs to get on the Traitors. Because if there is anybody you don't want to play a social deduction game with, it is Dave. Just assume that he's lying, and you probably might end up alive.
Yeah, he's been in a couple
That's-
Clock Tower games. I was gonna see.
He loves
Speaking
Clock
of which,
Tower.
there's
So-
Clock Tower tonight after the stream, by the way. So if you're interested, we're gonna be doing that tonight in the Discord. But yeah, I need to invite Dave at some point to come and play.
Has everyone here played? Yeah, but it'd be super late for him.
Yeah.
I know,
Kinda
but I need
need
to
to
tell him
go
about it. He's done it
Has
for me
it-
before.
Yeah, I am always the traitor. So usually, has everyone here played Rear Window?
Yes.
No.
So
really
Rear
nice.
Window, you're trying to figure out, who are in each of the 4 apartments, both who lives there and what they do.
It's Mysterium-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Oh,
and
that.
I've matched
is-
it up with Similo.
Yep,
Of course
and it
you have,
is
Derek. It's all about Similo, isn't it?
Yes.
With you.
it is almost cooperative, and by that I mean most of the time it is cooperative. But whenever you randomly draw the murder card, the murder tile,
Mhm.
as the storyteller, it becomes non-competitive, and it's team versus team, where the storyteller's trying to make everyone almost get it right, but not that there's a murder that happened. So we played this at Gen Con when we were working with the Losers for Board and Dice. And Dave Luza becomes the storyteller and sets it up.
Oh,
and
wow.
intentionally cheats and draws himself the traitor tile. As Steph is cracking up down here, and we can't hear a single laugh she's doing. and he admitted at the end, yeah, I switched it out. So he indeed is the traitor.
Oh, man.
So I have seen just a little. I've seen Rear Window on Amazon for as cheap as like $15, $12 or $15.
It's worth it.
Yeah,
And right now
It's
it's
a
only
keeper.
26.
I've got it.
But I would keep an eye out for it because, man, I did not know that, because now I'm very much regretting that I did not pick up Rear Window when it was cheap. But now I'm going to
can
add it
buy it
back
now.
to my cart.
That might be
keep
due
an
for
eye out.
another
Really
resurgence on
good.
a Wednesday night stream.
You'll find it used for $10, I'm sure.
Oh yeah,
Everything comes around, as
Oh,
Steph
it's
tells
there.
me.
it does. It does come around.
So,
I would agree.
speaking of reality TV, Steph and I blazed through. Let's see. On the way home, what did we finish? We finished up Alone Frozen. When we got home, we watched the last little bit. Then we blazed through an entire season of Survivor, the most recent season, and now we are blazing through the latest season of The Amazing Race. And we much prefer just binging the whole thing as much as possible.
Agreed.
And I will let y'all know, Hayden and I, my oldest son, are considering applying for The Amazing Race.
Go for
That does not
Do it.
surprise me even a little bit.
Do it.
I think we've got just enough hook
Yeah.
to get them interested in a father-son martial arts team.
Oh yeah, go for it. Totally
Sure.
do it. I could totally see you.
I think I would rock that game.
You know, my husband, so we're watching The Traitors, and he's like, "My gosh, these people are such idiots." And I'm like,
Mhm.
here's the thing though. they are, I mean, you know who the traitors are. You are seeing these people being stupid, right? And some people, some people are just like clueless, beyond
Clueless.
clueless. And they are like, they haven't a brain in their head, so they really just go with whatever way the wind blows, right? And which, every trader wants 50 of those on the game. But I'm like, when you're playing these games, like, it's easy to say this when you're watching it, but when you're playing these games and you're doing this kind of deduction stuff, I'm like, it is not always so easy. If people are really playing it well, it can be very hard to like figure out who's who and what's what. But
Yeah.
anyway,
As a
I mean,
viewer,
so-
we have so much more information, so it's like
Yeah.
so easy for us.
So
right.
when I say someone is an idiot, I don't say someone is an idiot because they can't see the traitor. You look at their logic or their
Yeah.
lack of logic. That's what I'm like, no, you're completely missing this. They're explaining something to you and you're totally missing it.
Oh.
So yeah.
So real quick
Yeah.
though, I do need to ask a question of Steph and Michael, because of the swag games they were giving out at BGG Spring, were any of them winners? Because I want to know. I have a story I have to tell, and I need to know. I need input. So what were the bangers that were in the allotment?
I
there?
mean, there was a ton of Rio Grande games that were all great. I mean,
Beyond the
there were a
Sun.
lot of good games.
Evacuation's been on my
Evacuation?
list for
Beyond the Sun
a
is really
while.
good. Evacuation, yeah. What else did we get,
Risafa.
Steph? Risafa?
I don't know. Woodcraft? I don't know.
Yeah,
There was a lot
Woodcraft.
of good games. There are a lot of good games.
Oh, Woodcraft was one of the freebies. I only noticed what I got, so I didn't really look that closely.
Okay.
Yeah, Steph and
I ended
Steph
up
and I
with
got
History
Beyond
of the
Sun and
World, and
Woodcraft.
Michael assured me it was a good one.
And that one is good too.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Okay. Because
I prefer the older version.
Yeah.
However, if you don't have a version, that one is a good one.
yeah, that is exactly what you told me. Okay. So I only came home with 2 additional games. 3 additional games. I took home 4 if you count the calendar thing that I got in the swag thing. I came home with History of the World, the calendar. Tiffany got Rasafa with her badge, and we had to leave that behind because it wouldn't fit in the luggage. And so I just, because Michael said History of the World was good, I was like, I'll make sure that one makes it home. But I didn't know anything about Rasafa, so I was like, I hope maybe the less I know, the less I'll miss, right? So if it was a good one, I'm passed on it. Lainey offered to bring it home for me because I told her that I left it in the staff office. So it's like, hey, I just couldn't take this home, and the rack that they had him sitting on was gone by the time that I was looking for a place to drop it. So I just
yeah, it's got resale value, but
Yeah.
I did not like it.
One of them, Duchess bought me Stay Away at the bazaar. I still haven't looked at this, and actually the box is empty because I went to go pick this up to bring it over here to show it on camera. The bottom fell out, and it's spilled all over my floor over there. I have to go pick it up right before I went live. So, but social deduction, which I will try pretty much any social deduction game. So I'm really curious to see. But I have not had a chance to break the rules. But the biggest one that made everybody go capital O emoji in real life when I told them that I took this home is I got Galactic Cruise.
I cannot believe you picked up Galactic Cruise.
I can.
What the?
It's supposed to be great.
Well,
It's great. It is great. We've already played it.
yes. So I don't typically seek these games out. Games like these. Because
We're changing you, Derek.
Well, no, it's not that I've changed. It's not that I don't seek them out. It's just that I don't. I'm just very. It's the same thing I say about roll and rights. It's not that I don't like. I don't seek them out. I'm just very picky about what I do like. Because like I don't need to play every single Euro. Like I don't have to play Uwe's, every Uwe release. I'm not that guy. I don't have to play everything Martin Wallace makes. So, and I don't think I've ever played any like Lacerda games, but this is the one. This is not a Lacerda game, but it's been compared to, I guess, Lisboa, which I've never touched. But we demoed this with Sweet Amy, and I fell in love with it immediately, and went to go look up and saw that like all of the extraneous stuff was sold out, and they still had a few copies left of the base game. And my spidey sense just kind of went off thinking, this is going to be like a Gen Con banger. And probably, it's like, I'd rather try to get this home from this show than try to make decisions at Gen Con of like, I mean, because there should probably be something else at Gen Con that I'm going to be like, ooh, I want that, And I'm not going to have... Galactic Cruise took up my entire roll-on, carry-on suitcase, So, anyway, but we demoed this, Duchess and I demoed this, and Sweet Amy taught us. We found it's not necessarily we did something wrong. We just accidentally played an advanced variant that you're not supposed to play with the basic setup, is basically what happened. So it's a really cool worker placement game that's I think some people give it flack for the fact that you can just always bump somebody, so it's like placing your worker doesn't carry near as much weight as it usually does in standard worker placement games. But there's still something that happens when you bump other people, so it's not like completely nebulous. But you're trying to build cruise ships and accomplish company goals and have the best cruise, space cruise. To do, to make sure your cube, or in this case, your little circle, it has the highest number of all of them. These games, they're all the same to me for the most part, which is why I don't usually seek these out. But I fell in love not with just the theme, but like the system of like you can invest in these developments to place pieces on the board, so that when you place your worker, the choice of actions you can take expands based on your reach with those tokens. So it's really interesting. Plus, if a game is getting really competitive, which in the intro game, I don't think this really happens often because with the intro game, it's all pre-printed on the board. The standard game, all of the potential action spaces are shuffled as tiles and can be paired into different pairings. And so then it might be a little more competitive of like, do you want to, place your piece there and have other players try to pay you, for using your link to that action. I don't know. I'm doing a horrible job of trying to explain what's going on in this game, but
Sweet Amy's ears were burning.
Just showed up.
Yay! Yeah. We're talking about Galactic Cruise. We only got to play it's a game broken up into 3 years, but we only played the first year, but really it's the first year is half the game, and then the other 2 years are basically the game really flies
It's
by.
only a 5-day convention.
Yeah.
You can't play 3 years of it.
You know what I mean. Ages, rounds, phases. Pick your favorite Euro game round name and insert it there, but they call it years.
So, we played a game that says, this game plays over 3 decades, and I'm like, I don't think we have that long.
The first year takes the longest because everyone is starting from nothing, so everyone's building their ships. But then what pushes the game along is actually launching cruises. So once players have started launching cruises, then the game just picks up because every time the cruise ship comes back, you can just send it back out again. So and every time you send that out, progress gets made on the progress track for the pushing the game to an end. So,
oh no, forced endings.
Yes, yes. So it is a little bit of a race.
Yikes.
And I love it. We didn't get to finish it, but we played the first year, and then Amy had to go catch a flight home. Then I took this home, and Amy and I, over the course of 2 evenings, played together over Discord on my table using my Project Game Changer setup that I use for streaming. So all that equipment, is used to play a Euro game over Discord.
Awesome.
Never have I wished for a game to be on BGG so badly. So it took us 2 nights because I don't have the Michael Aldridge skill set of like just parsing a rule book and then going blah, here's how it works. So I had to be very meticulous and careful about making sure.
I'll accept the compliment, thank you.
Yeah, I was doing things right. Yeah, Michael Aldridge, he vomits the rules at you correctly. But
the vomitator.
Yeah. And so we finished the game, and I did win, but the scores between the two of us was only 10 points. So it wasn't like this. Because that's one of the things I don't like about Euro games is when you've got like hey, here's the scores, and then last place is like 30, 40 points behind because sometimes that's how the game works, and it's just like, oh, well, you lost out on everything, so you just have to wait another 45 minutes till this is over, before you can just say you've actually lost, but you've already lost, but still, please sit in the chair and continue to play our game. That's why I usually don't seek these games out, by the way. And I feel like Galactic Cruise, because it has that forced ending thing that Michael mentioned, and I think that's why it appeals to me, is because it's kind of like you can kind of see how you're doing and how much is left of the game, and you feel like you still have a shot, So, I feel like there's decisions you can make. Fell in love with it, but as much as that's
I'm
awesome,
looking forward to it.
Yeah, as much as awesome as it is not the game of the con for me. But I think, is it still the case? Is this because Duchess and I played? What was my game of the con? We played it together. Is it still the game of the con for you too, Duchess?
Oh no, Galactic Cruise definitely replaced
Okay,
it.
Galactic Cruise
I
surpassed
still
it for
loved
you.
it, and I still really enjoyed it. I would say it is my solid number 2.
Okay, so Eric Martin.
Michael loves that.
Yeah, solid number 2. Yeah. Not a good time to have diarrhea either, Okay.
Poop jokes are not my favorite, but
Oh my
They're a
gosh.
solid number 2.
There it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
Eric Martin had a copy of Zenith from Playpunk with him, and taught Duchess and I that, and we played it. We were playing that with, was it Dr. Sign?
Dr.
Sign.
Sign?
Yeah.
Dr.
We were playing that with Dr. Sign. And so we played the 2-on-2 game, which is we found really dynamic and is my preferred way to play.
I liked it.
And then Eric pointed out to me, I had no idea that Zenith is on BGA. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
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 So as soon as we get home, I'm like so excited. So I fire up a game on BGA to play more with Duchess. And then I learn that the 2v2 mode is not implemented in BGA yet? Question mark, asterisk, exclamation mark.
Oh,
I hope
no.
it's coming because it's a fine 2-player game. It's still fun, but the 2v2 game is so much more interesting.
I did really like the team play game. However, I can see that if BGA does not do the team game, because I feel like if you're going to play the team game,
the
you
asynchronous thing is a
almost
problem.
need to be
Yeah.
playing live and being together. Like async, I really think it only makes sense at 2 players. Just because trying to communicate with your partner and like who's playing what and what you're doing together is not conducive. So to me,
Yeah, so
I could see if they would make it 4 play, like team play, if it was
Please.
live, like for real time only. But I think for async,
come on, BGA, do it, please, because it's so fun. I mean, I know for an asynchronous play, that would be a nightmare. No one would want to have that game because the back and forth is critical for communication when you're playing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but don't you need that like in person talking? Like if you're my partner, where I
Yes.
need to talk to you live?
Yes.
Yes,
Like,
that's why I say I would think you would have to do it in real time with everybody in Discord.
Yeah.
Like,
but even still, like you're talking to someone, your partner real time, and I'm talking to my partner real. It's too much over talking. I guess you would do side rooms.
Well,
or
no, it's not
something.
simultaneous necessarily. No, if it was, it doesn't have to be.
that
How
wasn't
it
the
works
way
is
when
when
we
you're playing
played
team play,
anyways.
you and your teammate take your turns in succession, and you can decide which of the two of you plays first. That's the key point of communication there, is decide who's going to go first. You can't, because you can't talk about what exact cards you have. You can say, I'm going to increase this planet's value by this much or whatever, but you can't say, I'm playing this. You can't exchange hands or anything, or show your hands with each other or anything. But you do need to discuss which of the two of you thinks is better to play first, and then who should play second. And so you don't have to do that over the other team, because then the other team is just going to respond to whatever the two of you decided to do. But that communication is key. Like in an asynchronous game, that's a problem because the game will take days, because people will be pinging each other back and forth in whatever messaging service they're going to do. And who knows, think about how long it takes someone to take their turn on BGA. If you're waiting for someone to answer just is this okay for 2 days before you could even take your turn 2 days later, But please, BGA, because if they ever do, we're totally playing it on Guildies. We gots to. Oh,
Girls against boys.
yes,
I'm calling
yes,
it now.
that's the plan. That's the plan. So, so Zenith is my game of the con. I loved it so.
Interesting.
And before too much time goes by, we need to show the Reaper
Now
video.
would be a good time to play. Yes.
Yeah, we do.
So,
but I have to say that, Amy, you made a best friend.
I did. So I don't know where Sweet Amy's been all week. I really don't know where Sweet Amy has been all week.
She's right
As
there.
soon as I got home, I invited her to games on BGA, and then they just
Yeah.
got abandoned, and I was
What?
devastated. I know. I was like,
Amy.
what
she
happened?
accepted our Castle Combo game, so she's playing Castle Combo with us.
I know. Well, then I texted her on, I don't know what day it was, Friday. I think I
It's all a
texted her
blur.
Friday night, and I was like, "Where are you?
Where is the love?
BGA." And she's like, "Oh, it's my birthday. It must have been Saturday because Saturday was her. No, it was Friday because Friday was her birthday." Friday was her birthday. So I texted her and I'm like, "Where are you? What's BGA, dude? This was like the highlight I was looking forward to when I got home. The con blues, the post-con blues. You were gonna save me from that, sweet Amy." And nothing. Nothing.
I-
I invited her to games immediately that Monday, thinking by Monday night she'll be home. Maybe she'll play some games. Okay, well by Tuesday, they never got invited.
So I think what happened was she was flying out Monday evening, and then her plane was delayed like forever. So she only got home at like 2 a.m. and she had to work on Tuesday. So
yeah, but Friday. Anyways,
no,
it's all
No,
good.
she responded in
It's
chat.
all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
She responded now because Friday we started playing games. I think we're on our third game of Ark Nova already.
Good grief. Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
All right.
So we
I'll
played
play
like
Ark Nova
20
with
games
you.
in 3 days. So like we're cranking them out now.
Nice.
All right, so real quick, for the three of you that weren't at the Guildies meetup at BGG Spring that are watching, here's what happened with the Reaper Roulette. Here we go.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Game Guildies annual Reaper Challenge. We have on this corner Wigsby, check 1 2, otherwise known as Derek. And then this corner we have Michael. We have
We're tied, I think.
we're tied 2-2. Yes, that's what we do.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that the pizza does not have any extra liquid, and we have to split the pizza and then we eat it. Except I'm not eating any of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeding him the rest.
What?
If I get it, I'm feeding the rest.
Whoa,
of it.
no. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to say goodbye to Senora Zoe. What? No. And
All right.
here is the pizza. One piece
Yeah.
has Reaper sauce on it. We're going to split the pizza.
Okay.
So you take this half, I take this half.
Sounds good. All right.
And then we might need this
Yeah.
to rescue ourselves.
Just in case, so we don't hack up our dinner.
All right, you're first.
Oh,
2
I'm
to
drawing-
2.
Yeah. I'll draw
So
first. Okay.
you draw first.
All right. And we learn.
Or we
we
can
gotta
go
get a
same
couple
time.
bites in to make sure we found it.
Could go same time.
Okay.
Ready?
All right.
Go.
I'm okay.
We're clear. Because sometimes they don't put it all the way to the middle.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
All right. I'm still good.
All right, number 3. Oh, these have like
Uh-oh.
liquid in the pepperoni.
Is that it? Did you get it?
Mm.
Did you get it?
Mm.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, wait a minute.
Is it kicking in?
A little bit of extra heat at the end.
Okay. Oh, did they put on the edge? Oh. You found it, you think?
Mm.
No. Then maybe you had the piece adjacent to it.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll have to find
All
out.
right, well, this is it then, right?
Let's go.
Not me.
Mm. I think it's this is it. This is it. We have a winner.
So who's the winner and who's the loser?
I won because
Okay.
I got chosen by the Reaper gods.
Okay. So
3 to
whoever
2.
gets it, we've been debating that forever. Whoever gets it is the
Whoever
winner?
gets it is the winner.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been selected by the Reaper gods.
All right.
Woo!
There it is.
That's hot.
There we go. So, yeah. So the streak has been broken now, where it was like, I get it at spring and then Michael gets it at fall is usually what happens. So,
No, you're gonna get it in fall this year. So that's
maybe, but like, I mean, that for the last 2 years that was the case, where it was like basically I get it at spring and then Michael gets it at fall. So, and yeah, that was Amanda Panda was gracious to shoot the video for us, so much appreciated for that. Anyway, yeah. So next, fall next time in Dallas, and we're gonna do that again. We're gonna do that every time until one of us's bodies can't handle Reaper sauce anymore. Yeah.
Kimmy said during Amanda's recap, she showed a picture of Azul all partied out.
Nice. I gotta check that out.
Nice. I got to see that.
Yeah.
I'll try to do up. My plan is I want to try to do up the video a little bit and make it more YouTube friendly and put on the YouTube channel, make a short out of it with some sound effects and make Michael's face turn red and everything with a recap of the previous ones and all that stuff. But the problem is, we talked about post-con blues. BGG Spring has the worst case of post-con blues for me because as soon as I get home, the rush and mad dash to get all of the game night episodes of the Spiel des Jahres nominees begins. So it's like right now is not the time for me to hustle Guildies when I have to hustle game night so hard. So, yeah, we'll get to it at some point. I'll try to have it by fall for sure, so that we'll at least have like a recap video. But it's not going to happen until after the spiels are announced, probably. The SDJs. So yeah. So
did you play the Spiel des Jahres, the kid ones?
I did not get to. None of them looked interesting to me, and my kids have now aged out of that level of gameplay. So, like for example, for the first time yesterday, me and my son played Century Golem. Like he competently played Century Golem. Yeah. So
nice.
So I think we're officially solid now in the family weight category, and I don't think we're doing a lot of kids games anymore. So I wasn't paying as close attention. And I was more concerned because it's the big ones I'm concerned about. So I went and I did play Endeavor Deep Sea, which I actually did enjoy. And if I could have found it somewhere to purchase, I would have bought it probably. I actually had a good time with it. Yeah, I had a good time with it.
Look at Derek all grown up.
Yeah, I like Galactic Cruise more, and if I had to choose between the two, Galactic Cruise would have won anyway, and I couldn't fit any more games in my bag anyway.
That's true.
Yeah. And so I was mainly trying to play the some of the games that I just want to make sure. Eric Martin said, "Oh, how responsible of you," and I'm like, "It's kind of my job." But the Spiel des Jahres nominees videos for Game Night always get a little bit more of a viewer bump because they're SDJ nominees. So I like to try to make sure we go the extra mile to where I'm a little bit more included in with the rules too, so that we can not have as much like rule error. Because when we have rule errors, we just usually put a note in, not a big deal. But like because these are the SDJs and these get more eyes on them, I try to do everything I can on my end to make these videos as good as possible because they're going to perform better than most of our other episodes do. So I like if I have the opportunity, I try to make sure that I'm a little bit up on the rules for some of the games for the nominees, just so that since we have to crank them out so fast, it's like the sooner we can catch having to reshoot something, the better, you know. And yeah.
Yeah, I could be excited about Endeavor on BGA as well. I do like Endeavor, not quite as much as I like Underwater Cities, though, because I do love.
I still need to play that.
That's a good game. Steph and I got to play on Yukata. Yeah,
it was fun.
And Sweet Amy and I bonded over the fact that we both really love Underwater Cities.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, so our Tuesday group, Jonathan's favorite game is Underwater Cities. And obviously Amy loves Underwater Cities, so.
And then the other big purchase I made, I was super excited because the BGG store had in stock, because these don't always get stocked in local game stores near me. So the Board Game Geek store carries a lot of the Gamegenic products, and I'm a big fan of a lot of their stuff. And so they had the Token Keep XL. So now all of my fancy bits that I use in all of my games is all in one. I used to have to keep it in two of the small ones, but now it's all in one. So I have my money and all my goods in one thing. So
Yeah, we
Very
need to
because I
We
just
need to
don't
get
like to
something
punch
like that.
out goods tokens and money tokens anymore. I'm just like, no, I just
Yep.
use that. I don't care if thematically
So-
it's a little bit off. It's like I'd rather just use my metal coins than because it's just more pieces to lose to find on the floor and can't remember what game it goes in. I'm like, forget it. I just put the insert. I just take those punch boards and put them under the insert of the box, and I don't even punch them out.
If Steph and I played more repeat games, we would probably do more of that. We
Yeah.
have to take pictures with the actual components, sadly. But that being said, when we play for fun and we're not shooting it for a publisher,
Yeah. I mean, no
we-
question.
we've got some Stonemeyer
Yeah.
bits.
Yeah, I'm just a streamer that does what I want, so I don't have those deals. So, but yes, absolutely. If I was doing stuff for promotional packages or whatever, yeah, I would absolutely use the components as intended. But when it's just me, I mean, 9 times out of 10, the games I'm streaming on my channel are out of print anyway. So, because I'm playing the hits from 5 years ago, usually. So, but yeah, but that's just what I've been doing is like when I get new games, I hate finding like a token, and it's a lumber token. It's from one of the games that has wood in it. I don't remember which one it is, but my son found it on the floor. The cat pulled it out from under the TV stand or whatever, and I don't remember where it came from. And then I have to figure out a place to put it until I do remember that it's missing. And then I'm like, screw that. I just buy nice bits and then use those in all the games.
Exactly.
Tried looking at this Stay Here game that you just dropped on the floor. You might be part of that one.
Yeah.
I forget. Was that the game that you dropped?
Stay away.
Here?
Yeah, no, it's all
stay
cards.
away.
Stay
It's all
away.
cards.
Stay away.
And there's a Cthulhu. Don't lose the Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
If you ever need spare bits, I have literally a huge box of spare bits.
We have like all sorts of crazy bits.
Mm-hmm.
crazy bits.
Well, one of the first, is it fair to call it a Euro game, that I obsessed over, because I didn't seek out Euro games as just on my own until I started working in the industry and was exposed to more. But I fell in love with Orleans hardcore when that game first came out, and I've bought upgrades for Orleans like 3 times over, and ultimately settled on the Geek Up bits because those are just the best. But I had the Meeple Source one, so I had, and then I also bought the bundle from Top Shelf, and so that's where I got all those good tokens from. And I'm like, well, I have these. I guess I'll just use them in other games. And then there was like somehow, I don't know how it happened, but I ended up with a bunch of extra Scythe upgraded tokens. I don't know how. I think it was like after a Dice Tower Con or something, after an auction, it was like there was just like a bunch of miscellaneous ones that, like, it wasn't a complete set, it was just a bunch of the bits just left on the table. And I'm like, that's when I got my idea. It's like, well, I'll just use these and make a ultimate upgrade kit for all games that use wood and wheat and, and ore, you know, which is, I mean, how often do you need that stuff, you know?
All the time.
So anyway,
But no trip to BGG Con is complete without a trip to Buc-ee's, where you can get beaver nuggets that are almost eaten.
and almost
I didn't
visible.
Get the
Yeah.
Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
For Kimma. Hi, Steph.
I feel like there's so little I can eat at Buc-ee's as a diabetic, because like it's all about snacks and stuff, right? Like carb heavy snacks. Yeah.
Not really. They have brisket.
Oh, I did do Hard 8. Took Tiffany to Hard 8,
Mhm.
and then Lincoln and Nikki took us both to Velvet Taco, so Tiffany got to have Velvet Taco. So
Oh my god, that's funny.
the flag.
The
Yeah.
beaver nuggets are like a caramelized, like,
Puffed corn.
I don't know. It's like think about caramel popcorn, but not actually popcorn. It's just like a caramel
Puffed corn.
light. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah. We have that
you guys
stuff
did
up
your
here. It's not
you've
called
released your
Hero Nugget,
top
but
10
we
of the
have
month, right? So far.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We did it.
All right. So if I ask you this question, we're not risking you spoiling that for the future. Okay.
No.
So
Nope.
so what was your choose game of the con then? I would assume if you had a game of the con, it probably made that list. But
Yes.
Let's look. My
Let's
top 10
look.
Let's look.
let's
my
consult the
best-
data.
my best game of the month was not played at BGG Con, but it
Okay.
was Lord of the Rings Fellowship, Fate of the Fellowship or whatever.
Okay.
The
Steph's game
pandemic.
of
The pandemic game it's on BGA, which is where I learned it. It's amazing.
that's your
Everybody
game of the
play it.
month, but what is your game of the con?
I know. Probably the Fog.
Yes.
I play with
That's
Dr.
your number
Sign.
3 game.
That warranted a Discord picture. I remember that. Yeah.
My game
Yeah.
of May was also not in the con.
I figured that'd be the case, but yeah.
Steph had already played Earth, and so I got to play it in May, and that was my number 1. But at the con, I played Saltfjord, and I'm not certain it will hold its number 2 position, but it is there. Yes, it is not a
If you
solid number
played-
2.
If you've played Santa Maria, it's like the progression, the next game
Okay.
of Santa Maria. It's like Santa Maria a lot, but they added like tech tracks and like a water track, and I found a few flaws, so it didn't really make my list. Though I'm glad we played it because I really wanted to play it.
Yeah, I enjoy what it's trying to do, but I'm not
I'm sure you
convinced
would love
it's
it, Amy.
balanced enough.
Yeah. There was a game. My last game of the con, unfortunately, was a terrible experience. Because of the rule book.
No.
I think the game is fun, but I had to piece. We had an issue in our play of the game. So the game I'm talking about is Isle of Night from Red Raven Games. It's not Ryan Lockett's design. He just did the art. It's someone else's design. And I can't remember the name offhand. But we're going to probably poop on it a little bit. But
Justin Dowdle.
yeah. So it's to me it kind of sounded like a fun little kind of sort of a slot machine like game where you flip cards and make choices and try not to bust out or something. And it has so the issue with the rule book is there are these lantern cards that trigger the end of the game when a certain number of lantern cards have been claimed by players, which is how the rule book is worded. Based on your player count, that ends the game, and then you tally up the points that everybody says. So there's like a pool of cards. Everybody flips over 3 cards, and then you can take all of one card type. And there are different card types that can't be taken unless you have something else that lets you take it. And it's like there's all sorts of like interaction with these cards. And basically, you're just trying to like collect the best points from the middle, drafting the best points possible. And then when enough lanterns have been collected, the game ends. Whoever's the most points wins. Well, one of our players thought it would be funny that one of the cards that lets you discard other cards from the offer, because there's like cards that are kind of bad for you too, unless you have a card that makes them good for you, sort of thing. So what they did is they decided to just discard the lantern cards, which are always good, but they thought, well, if I do that, then the game won't end, and then the deck runs out, and then I have as much time as possible to build the best score, right? But it's like, so that was the question is like, well, then when does the game end? Because the game doesn't specifically, all the rules do not specifically say shuffle the discards and make a new deck. They don't tell you one way or the other. So there's no definitive way to end the game. And it doesn't specifically say you can't exile the lantern cards. So that was the question. And this game is supposed to take like 15 minutes to play, but it took us like 40 minutes because we were going to BGG trying to find, and that designer was very active on BGG answering questions from when the game was released. And I could not find any of the forums that answered our specific issue because I think our player was just trying to be ornery and thought it would be funny to like, hey, what if I discard the card you're supposed to take? Like yeah. But anyway, we couldn't find an answer to that specific issue. But through other questions people had, I sort of did a, if A plus B equals C thing, then therefore I think this is the spirit of the thing. And so I think what I think is missing from the rule book, all that it needed was to say when there are X number of lanterns claimed by players or in the discard pile, then it's over. So that's how I wanted to rule it. But like the spirit, they wanted to, their strategy was, well, if I just exile this away, if I exile enough of them, the game will never end. And then I'll have as much time as possible to build my best point pool. And I'm like, I don't
that should
think
have
that's
been caught in playtesting.
Yeah, I don't think that should have been caught playtesting. Absolutely. And yeah, it should be in the book. I kind of thought the game was kind of fun, and I'm going to probably pick up a copy myself because the cards are very Similo friendly. So I want the cards.
Oh,
You
of
know?
course. It's all about the Similo.
That is 9 times out of 10. That is why I'm buying a physical copy of a game anymore, is because I want to
All
use it for
about
Similo
the
mashups.
Similo.
Yeah. Because if I
You
can
should
play,
change your username to Similo Check 1 2.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Horrible Guild hasn't called
What game
me.
was this again?
It was called Isle of Night. And I can tell you all, it's probably way beneath your taste. I'm pretty sure you did not care for this one. But I
have
really
not
like
played.
the artwork, and it's like it's another thing of like, hey, I can Similoify these cards, and so I want them.
Oh, the art is
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah,
It's Red Raven, but
yeah,
it's not one of
I mean,
Ryan's
it's
games.
a nice Red Raven art. Which
yeah.
I
It's
do very love.
Oh, the universe will implode for me if Horrible Guild ever gets a deal with Ryan Lockett to do a Similo deck. In fact,
Yeah.
I once spoke the marine animals deck into the ethos, and now it's coming. So I'm gonna say this now, that hey, how about a Ryan Lockett Similo deck?
So
Arzium
rated it.
Let's get an Arzium Similo deck. Why not?
Steph rated it a 5.5.
It was very okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
the game
okay.
is just okay. It's a very streamable game because there's no hidden information, so it's kind of a good game to play with chat. But the main reason I want to get a copy is because I want the cards, because I do my crazy Similo and trash talk mashups, and you reminded me I need to do some Rear Window mashups again too. I've done that too, using other cards besides what's in Rear Window. So anyway. So yeah, I wish for that. And if you do reprint that game, oh dear God, please fix the rule book, because that was the last game of the con for me.
We encounter bad rule books literally on
Yeah.
the daily.
Yeah, I know. I just didn't want that to be my last game of the con, because I brought up BG stats on my phone, and I just put in location BGG Spring, so I can see how BGG Spring 2024 ended. And I can see how good good of a note it ended on, and then I see the one game I got played on Saturday was Isle of Night. I didn't log the Galactic Cruise because we didn't finish it, and I don't even remember what the scores were, and especially since we kind of technically played it wrong,
We Steph and I have counted 1 round games before.
I wasn't
Well,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you can win or lose. If you can win or lose, it counts as a game.
Yeah. Well, so what happened with our Galactic Cruise game is, I believe there was a tie for winners, and because we only played 1 year, the criteria for the tiebreaker doesn't technically exist. So
Well, that's fine. I would still count as a play without a score.
Oh, okay.
That's what I would do.
Anyway.
But it's just however you want to do it. And then we should all go to the 100 by 100 that Jelfie is managing and write in
I'm
our
so
totals.
bad about that.
You would take over the Similo category if you kept track of how many games.
Well, Karen Games of Fire is tracking the Wigsby Check 1-2 Similo stats. So at the end of the year, we're gonna know how many times cards were the hidden character card. We're gonna know what decks we played matched up with each other. We're not tracking when I do crazy mashups. We're not tracking each individual mashup. It's like it was a mashup. It's like we don't say like this was a Dixit deck and this was we don't do that. It's like we call it Wigsby-fied is all. But all the official Similo decks, we are keeping stats on which card is a secret card, how many wins and losses, and I think she's even tracking like how many rounds we make it. So we're gonna have all this fun data at the end of the year for Similo. That maybe I could just find a way to dump it into into the community under. But
You've been playing a lot of Flip 7 stuff?
Yeah,
For
I
some
like
reason,
it.
I didn't think you liked it.
I
What
like
was my
it.
name of the con?
yeah.
It was Flip 7.
I really like it. I think it's fun. I
like
mean, it's
Flip 7.
simple. I don't think it should win, but it will probably win Spiel de Jar. And I understand why, but
Yeah.
people give it a lot of hate, and
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
don't
know-
hate it at all.
I know why it's going to win. James and I were sitting over at one of the tables, and we weren't playing, but we were sitting at the table. And so if it wins, now we know why Flip 7 is going to win.
Uh-huh.
Because James and I were sitting over
Uh-huh.
at the table.
Oh, okay. That's why.
So here's my thing on Flip
Nope.
7. I don't want to own it because I'm a big Pairs fan. And so for me, I have that game already. Now I know Flip 7, the big difference between Flip 7 and Pairs is the numbers the pyramid deck is larger and it has the special power cards. But if you have the deluxe Pairs rulebook, you can basically play essentially what Flip 7 is with Pairs decks. It is out there. But so I think it's fine. So that's why I don't want to own it because I feel like I already have it in the form of my Pairs decks. But I do think that's the one that's going to win. I would rather. Is that the one is that the one that's against Bomb Busters or no?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I want Bomb Busters to win, but
Me too.
I think Flip 7 is going to win because as great as Bomb Busters is, remember, Bomb Busters was technically my number 1 game of 2024. But I played my number 2 game so much more over the course of 2024 and since because it's that much more accessible. And my number 2 game was Castle Combo, by the way. So
That was my number 1. That was Steph's number 1.
yeah. I probably should have just said Castle
Bomb
Combo
Busters.
is the number 1, but I'm more excited to play Bomb Busters. Like I feel like I still haven't got to dive into
Exactly.
Bomb Busters the way I want to.
If you have not completed it, you
I have
need
not.
to dive more into it. You
Yeah,
need
and I want
you
to,
need
but I
do
tried.
it.
So I taught it at the con, and it's it just has, it's not ridiculously high. It just has a higher barrier of entry, and I think that's what's ultimately going to hurt Bomb Busters against Flip 7.
I would agree. If you,
Yeah.
it's not Flip 7. You could almost play with a monkey. I mean, not that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but should that
know,
be
It's really easy.
the
It's really
game
light.
of
I love
the
Flip 7.
year?
It plays well with a group. Bomb Buster, I agree, Derek. I think you're right on. Bomb Busters is not a quick learn. I can pull out a game of Flip 7 and
Yeah.
we can be playing in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Bomb
So-
Busters, it's gonna take a little bit.
The words Spiel des Jahres
Yeah.
I agree.
actually means game of the year,
Yeah.
not
And that
can't be played with a monkey.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm
That's
saying. Is game of the
ridiculous.
year means something to so many different people, and I feel like to
does.
the masses, Flip 7 is going to have that edge. I think Bomb Busters should win because I think Bomb Busters is way more
agree.
innovative. I think it
It's
is the
better
most.
game.
It's the most accessible deduction game I've ever seen for a family weight deduction game. Like
The way to get people to play better games is give better games
It-
those awards.
I agree, but
And that's why
when you look at
nothing
the
about
world through the
Spiel.
lens of money, Flip 7, if it wins, you're going to have Flip 7 printed with all these different arts. I mean, think of the game, where it's like where they did like the different versions of the game.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
No.
Yeah.
Flip 7 has the Uno factor, right? Where it's like, hey, you can have a Disney Princesses Flip 7. You can put, Toy Story on Flip 7. It's like that's why I'm afraid it's going to win.
Well-
I don't think it should, but that's why I'm afraid it's going to win.
And Flip 7,
Agreed.
the op has Flip 7.
Yes,
Right.
and yeah,
And
again,
okay,
yeah. Look
The
who's
op
holding
and
it.
IP
Yeah,
is definitely. It
yeah.
wasn't that the op had it. I would maybe say differently, but yes, I think you are right on, Derek. I think we are going to see a mountain.
Star
The other
Wars
thing is-
Flip Droid.
Yeah,
We are
someday.
gonna see
yeah.
You're gonna
Fellowship
see a
of the
lot of it.
Flip.
And
Yep.
We're
in the end, I think for the hobby as a whole, that's still a good thing. It's just I hate to see Bomb Busters lose for that reason. In my head, And I could be 100% wrong. This is just how I'm looking at things because it's like, this is like why I wish I know Simula, as much as I love Simula, I know it's not a Spiel des Jahres nominee. I wasn't surprised to see it not nominated, but I feel like if it had been, it would be the same thing because it's like, oh, this is so marketable,
So I watched what is it? Game Boy Geek, right?
Yeah.
I think he did a Spiel des Jahres, preview or whatever. And normally I don't watch his YouTube videos much, but I was kind of curious to see what he said about the Spiel des Jahres, and I think what he said, he was pretty brutally honest in it. I'm not sure he maybe should have been. It was maybe not best for his brand, but I do have to agree that I'm not sure what Spiel des Jahres is thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think any of us in the board game community, the content creators, especially those that are pretty hardcore gamers, are like, we look at these and we're like, what are you
Yeah.
trying to do?
exactly.
Are you trying to do Flip 7 is great. I really enjoy it. I've had a lot of fun with it. It's fun to just pull it out, play with a bunch of people, it's interactive, it's quick, it's over, it's done. I enjoy it. But
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
if I'm going to sit at a table with the 4 of you or the 3
Yeah.
of you, I'm going to play a Bomb Buster.
Well, I
Amy,
just
you
want to
have-
curve
you
this
have hit-
talk off for a little bit because we're going to have a discussion about Spiel des Jahres. So let's save the gold. But
Amy-
yeah, finish your point, Michael. Yeah.
Amy, you have hit the exact point why Spiel means nothing to me.
Well, and I think
Because
I don't
of-
know if, but I don't know if they nominate a Flip 7 because it is so popular. And bravo to the op. I think Ray is actually running their marketing by giving away loads of copies and kind of flooding the market with a bunch of free copies, because I think that's going to help them, too. So I don't know if by nominating something like Flip 7, which is basically an Uno-esque type of game, a big box
My dinner
store-
has arrived, and since I'm
You
doing
know,
Blood in the Clock Tower, I have to basically start eating now. So
It's all good. So, and they're trying to get the broad appeal, right? To Spiel des Jahres, right? Oh, I love that game. Oh, what is a Spiel des Jahres? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But anyways,
But
that will be my
for
last
me,
thing about
yeah,
Spiel des Jahres, because if we're gonna talk about it, but I agree. I every year this happens.
yeah.
I'm excited for the Spiel des Jahres, and then I see what gets nominated, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. I like it when the Spiel des Jahres helps me discover something that I was like, oh, wow, this resonates. Even when it doesn't win, it's very rare that I have a game in each category that I'm like, I've played it and I think that's the winner. I'm still salty about Cryptid losing out. Cryptid should have won. But what I do like is for example, the nominees helped me discover Captain Flip, and I like Captain Flip. I think Captain Flip is fine. That's a good family weight game.
Good game.
Yeah.
Fun game.
So
Great game with kids.
that's all it has value to me. But it's just but I really don't necessarily care who wins. Oh, by the way, that's how I discovered Far Away, and I like Far Away. Or no, it's not how I discovered Far Away, but it's I could have Far Away would have been one of those games. I like Far Away, but it's like that could have been a way I discovered it. So
You know what would have been better? If you had
That's
discovered
hard.
even better games.
yeah.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Steph taught me Far Away.
Mhm.
I knew nothing about it, but Steph taught me.
That's another
It's
one
good.
that's like I like it, but it's got the high barrier of entry problem where it's like you have to like see that game played once before you understand how to play it.
Sure. I think my
Yeah.
first game with Steph, I didn't quite fully understand how it worked. So it was definitely a throwaway. But after play, but it wasn't exactly like it took an hour to get to that first
Yeah.
play. It was like 15 minutes.
Oh, just
So
every
it's
time
like,
I've
oh,
taught
okay,
Far
now
Away
I'm
to
gonna play
somebody,
again.
the reaction is always the same. It's like, that scoring things in reverse. It's like, oh, I know you told me, but I still did it wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you have to play it once or twice in order to even understand how.
Yeah, I understand how it
puzzle.
works, and it's going down further on my list every time I play it.
That's a bummer. Well, I bought it because I also like the art, and it's a simulable.
Absolutely.
I like the characters and the world that game built is very fun and interesting to me. But
Yeah, there's a lot of agreed with you, Matt. There is a lot of I just got an email from Blue Orange saying that they are putting an app out for King Domino that they are launching in a
Is
few
Blue
weeks.
Orange still in business?
Well, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
yes,
Wow.
I was like, I thought they were like Terra Fodder 2. I thought too. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, they keep making my Next Station games, which I love very much.
I haven't played any of the other ones other than Next Station London, which Steph taught me, and I liked it. I don't want to own it, but I'll play it on BGA anytime. Yeah.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
I
there's
love it.
there's none of this stuff that's on my radar. Looking at their website.
But
Cool.
did Queen Domino kind of go away? Because like I combined. That's why I can't get rid of my King Domino and Queen Domino, because I cut the boxes up, the inserts up, so I could put them in the same box.
Yeah,
Nobody
King
cares about
Domino has
inserts.
stuck around. Queen Domino.
Well, King Domino is
did
important because it
not
holds the dominoes
seem
in
to
place for
work.
you in the box. That's how you put it away.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. King Domino, my brother pulls it out. I think every member of my family has a copy of King Domino and we play it quite a bit. That seems to have some staying power. Queen Domino though seemed a little reaching and so didn't do great.
I admit I got Queen Domino because I was still in an era when you tell me that like this follow up to a game that I already enjoyed. It's like, hey, you can use everything from that game in this game, and I was like, when you tell me that, I'm just like, okay, I'm in, It's like I've already got like half of a cool like I was a sucker for the Century, like you can combine the games and play. I was like, all right.
Have you?
I have not. Because I don't have anyone to play with, but I know there. But
I don't know of anyone who has done it.
yeah, well, because it's I don't know. I feel like because most people just want to play the original, like that's the one they know and they love, and as far as I can tell, I think that's the one that holds up the best of the three in both lines. So
Wonderwoods is very cute.
yes, Matt Milder, 100%
Adorable.
using the near and far characters and above and below. Like that kind of stuff. I love it when that happens. And that's like a pretty wicked awesome expansion for Above and Below too, because they're characters that you don't have to have housing for.
Wicked awesome.
Yeah.
Bones John asks if people still enjoy playing the Mind. We've got our our card artwork on our next to our front door now, so we see it every time we go down the stairs and out the front door. So, but we haven't played it much since we won.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
play
hard
it
to
with-
it's hard to beat that.
yeah, like
I yeah. I play it with my local meetup sometimes, but generally it's not played.
The Mind is a game that I don't hate, but it's like I'll never play it the way I play Simula, where I'm like I'm always down. Where it's like the Mind is like, oh, like for me the Mind is kind of a fun icebreaker game. Like it's great to play with people you don't know, but like once you've played with a group and solved it, you really don't have a drive to do it again, right? You know.
Have you solved it in the dark?
No, I've never played. I've never played with a consistent group at that level before.
Yeah, I have known nobody to beat it at more than 2 players in the dark, and to my knowledge, Steph and I are the only ones to have beaten it at 2 players.
I should start a Simulo counter every time I start talking about Simulo on these shows. I should
I should play Simulo with my lunch group, but I don't know if I actually own a
You
deck
can play
of
Simulo shots. Everybody will
I
be
think
wasted
the only
by the
Simulo
end of the
deck I
stream.
own is actually the board game one, and that's not gonna work.
Oh yeah, as cool as the
Play it
board
on
game
the
deck
app,
is,
Texas.
do not use that deck. I almost say don't play with that deck unless it's with other board gamers that you know. Like I never take the board game deck, even when I'm trying to be funny and like do a fun mashup thing. I'd rather use something else because the board game deck is just not. It's not accessible for everyone. It's yeah.
Yeah, but everybody at work, like we have our, peer pressure. This is what happens when I get peer pressured. I started a board game lunch. So once a month at work, we do a gaming lunch. And so everybody, of course, looks to me to bring the board games. So I've always been trying to, and it's the thing is we only have an hour, and sometimes we get 5 people and sometimes we get 8 people. So, trying to find something that's like kind of group orientated. Last time we played just one. The time before that we played Flip 7. It's something that's not too long, that's light, that's fun. So I think Similo, is something where people could kind of come and go. Like I'm asking a lot, but there's a lot of games out there. So, I've told people to bring games and you could break up in groups of 2 or 3 and play stuff, but I don't know. They'll get there one day. Right now it's just, a lot of them don't have a board game collection at all whatsoever.
Oh, I do want to mention with Flip 7. I hit a benchmark at the con. For the first time, I think, in person. Because I've played Flip 7 in person a few times, and I don't care for it. Because I've never managed in any game until this con to turn over more than 3 cards without busting. I actually got to... I never got to 7, but I actually got more than 3 cards. I think I may have gotten higher than 3 cards on a BGA play at one point, but very rarely. So yeah, that was a benchmark for me.
That's a great accomplishment.
Yeah, well, yeah. So when I logged a score for Flip 7, I actually had a score. My log scores for Flip 7 plays in person were 0 for the longest time.
I just got a badge on BGA for winning Flip 7.
Well,
yeah, I just lose.
Prop up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one.
Yeah.
And I also just lost my game to Amy, my 5 tribes game to Amy by 6 points.
Oh.
All right.
She's a shark.
Yeah.
She's killing me.
I gotta cut this off because time is getting away.
So many games.
And there is Blood on the Clock Tower happening tonight. So if you would like to observe or even play, the link for it, if you have access to the Game Guildies Discord, the link for it will appear in the Blood on the Clock Tower info channel in the near future here. I just need to reboot my computer and scarf some of my sandwich here. And then, but yeah, I'm going to get the room up. So, yeah, Trouble Brewing. I think our regular storyteller is available. I wasn't sure because I know that he was at a con over the weekend, like running games like crazy. So I wasn't sure if he was going to be up for playing tonight. But as far as I know, I think Jason's going to do it. So, all right. Until next time. That's going to do it from us here at the Guildies. Don't forget to get a pair of those proverbial socks on your way out because...
No, they're out of stock.
Yeah. Well, but
They're
not the proverbial ones. The proverbial ones are just always in your mind. Get a free pair of those proverbial socks on your way out. And you know, because we obviously like reapered them off your feet, you know, over the course of the game.
That's hot.
Yeah, it's hot stuff. Yeah, is everybody here next week, or I can't remember if somebody said that they had to be gone next week.
I'm here.
Here as far as I know.
Okay. We'll probably do some community gaming next week on BGA. See if we can find some games to play with some folks in chat and have some fun. And yeah, so we'll do that next week. And until next time, yeah, I'll be streaming. Oh,
We're about to raid.
yeah. All right, bits and pieces.
This has been a Senora Azul production. Fist bump.
All right, pumping the button.